أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أما بعد اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي يا فتاح يا عليم افتح لنا فتحا قريبا. Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we are continuing on with our online course on the philosophy of Isra and Miraj. This is lesson 3 and we're going to be discussing the purposes for miracles today. Why are miracles important in Islam? What's the purpose of a miracle in the overall religious education of a community? And this is going to be very important because later on, when we ask the question, how can miracles be understood? How should they be understood? Is sort of a correlation with the modern scientific developments a sort of a justified thing to do when studying miracles or studying a part of miracles? So all of those questions can only be understood when we first understand what the purposes of miracles are, what is the definition of miracles. So in the last two lessons, we try to understand what exactly is a miracle, how has it been used in the Quran, the terminology that has been used in the Quran. It's been called an Ayah, a Mubsirah, a Bayyinah, a Burhan, and in various forms. Sometimes it's just for the verse of the Quran, sometimes it's for a violation of a law of nature, and various other uses of the same thing. Sometimes it's like a manifest proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides to his servants, which is irrefutable. So all of these are in essence different aspects of miracles. So today, let's just go over the purposes of miracles. Purpose number one is, of course, that a miracle establishes and substantiates the truth of the prophet or the messenger and the message they bring. This is the primary purpose of a miracle. So it's very integral to Islam. So all of this movement about the rejection of miracles, or like, we'll just take the Quran and that's it as a miracle. Everything else is just, we don't want to take the moon splitting, Miraj and all of that. We hear all of this in modern Muslim discourse. That is actually refuted by the fact that the primary purpose of a miracle is very much connected to the central pillar of our religion, which is the truth of the Prophet ﷺ and the Quran. Okay, purpose number 2. Right. So a miracle is essentially a challenge posed by Allah Most High to humanity as it baffles the mind, inspires great awe, and people realize their inability to imitate or recreate that act. Thus, the natural reaction is of submission and surrender before Allah and His Messenger. So it's essentially an open challenge to people. Like, this is where they're forced to look outside the box. They're forced to humble themselves before the truth that has been sent to them. Purpose 3 for a miracle is, for believers, a miracle deepens and strengthens their faith in the Prophet and the message they've been sent. It serves as a confirmation for their belief. So it's a sort of a consolation, a confirmation that they're on the right path. Okay, so purpose 4 is for people who have trouble accepting the truth of the message just by simple prophetic teaching. So their hearts are hard. They're not as soft as a believer. So they need something more, a stronger jolt. So a miracle serves as a big jolt that inspires faith and acceptance by means of a strong emotional response on witnessing the extraordinary event. This is exactly what they need. That confirmation that they need, which they couldn't get with, the reasoning, the wisdom, the da'wah that the prophets give them. Okay. And lastly, purpose 5 is for staunch disbelievers. A miracle becomes a decisive proof against them. as it evokes a strong emotional response in them as well, but they deny it. They dismiss it as magic, as illusion or something. So for a disbeliever also, it's the same effect, but they deny it, and that's what a kafir is. A kafir is somebody who covers the truth up. Kafara means to cover up. Kafir is also used for people, for farmers, when they sow the seed and they cover the seed up with the soil. So this is the state of the disbeliever. He or she witnesses the truth, gets this same feeling, this strong emotional effect that they know that this is not natural, this is something supernatural, this is from the divine. But then, because of their own biases, because of their nafs, because of various other factors, they deny it and they dismiss it. They call it names. So it becomes a decisive proof against them. For the believers, it's a proof for them. So it's a very decisive, very important, significant event in a religion's history. It cannot be dismissed. Like, for example, today we have all of these, since the 19th century, I would say, 20th century more, the Islamic discourse regarding miracles has been varied. There is no, from this perspective, there should be no, different opinions on this. Miracles are a very important part of a religious community, of a religious message. They just can't be dismissed as something that belonged to the 7th century, and now we don't really have to accept that. So, in conclusion, a miracle is a major game changer in religious history that distinguishes between the faithful and the disbeliever. So, this is like really important stuff. There are some people who would rather have like a symbolic understanding. I fail to understand what that means. But then, certain modernist Muslims, uh, they have a hard time accepting supernatural events. But then we're going to go into even the science of miracles a little bit, and we're going to see there's nothing unrational, irrational about believing miracles. It's just that from a faith based perspective, this is the most logical thing to do, is to believe and to accept and to place it as a significant part of our religious experience. And even from, if you want to go a completely rational way, if you want to go a completely scientific way also, you will have enough proof supporting this.
Be sure to check out our website and our online courses marketplace, where you can find a good variety of courses on these different categories that we have: self, health, wealth, world, history, and science. We have a good collection of online courses taught by different experts on very interesting subjects. Sign up and check out all of these courses, inshallah.